Thursday, everyone. Jasper Gonzo here. Another episode of What's Next. Number of stories popped up on my feed this morning, including one very serious one, a very dangerous one from a judicial standpoint in Texas, and I will cover that on a later video. But this one, I didn't think I was going to do one this soon, actually the next day, but did a video yesterday in regards to the DOJ dropping a memorandum from one Attorney General, Merrick Garland. Yes, you know, the failed Supreme Court justice candidate. But there has been a couple of new things that have popped up. Of course, as we know, that the memorandum states that now parents are evil, racist, white supremes who dare to challenge critical racist theory and pretend genders. So now they are the bad guys. Parents across the country, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, who are tired of their children being taught garbage, who are tired of forced mask mandates that don't work. God forbid if they talk about the wonderful and superior vax that has been so good. See Israel 27 times unlikely to get COVID serious symptoms and or hospitalizations and or deaths because of natural immunity. But anyway, regarding Garland, it turns out, like I said, there are more things that have popped up on this, and it turns out that there may be a reason why he has chosen to go after the parents. Excuse me. Let's go. This comes out of Breitbart. GOP accuses AG Garland of weaponizing DOJ, FBI to intimidate anti-CRT parents. This is total totalitarianism. Republicans blasted Attorney General Merrick Garland on Tuesday after he directed the FBI to pursue law-abiding critical racist theory opponents in order to protect schools, administrative staff, citing concerns of disturbing spikes in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence without any evidence. But this comes out of Gateway Pundit. Mainstream media hacks cheers DOJ threats and assaults on America's parents for speaking out at school board meetings. Now, just that little clip right there, as you can see, Merrick Garland. But over here is Rebecca Garland, daughter, and husband, Zan Tanner. I'll get to more of that in a moment. Biden's corrupt Attorney General Merrick Garland announced he was going to target parents around the country who oppose critical racist theory and masking kids were speaking up about it at local school board meetings. It turns out that the AG's son-in-law makes a load of money selling books to schools used to teach about racist fake theory. Following the announcement that the federal government was going to target America's parents, godless mainstream media hacks cheered. It was about time. Mainstream media today is an official branch of the corrupt regime. Fact.
Urban parents resist having nihilistic
Yours truly,
ruling-class
Tucker.
ideologies imposed by force on their children. Our media seem to believe it is perfectly fine to designate them terrorists and threaten them with firearms.
In a version of America where school board meetings have become the new culture war battlegrounds, with children caught in the crosshairs, sometimes literally and sometimes figuratively.
Right now, everyone from the Proud Boys to the Oath Keepers to QAnon influencers are trying to encourage their members, their followers, their maniacs to show up at school board hearings.
Of course.
Some behavior is so bad, it's being compared to domestic terrorism.
This becomes a security crisis, in a sense, for the nation.
How one Republican senator is pretending school board harassment and intimidation aren't off the charts.
Similar tactics to what happened on January 6th that now are being turned against school boards nationwide in a trend that's really disturbing and sinister.
Conservatives manufactured outrage over masks.
Oh, yes, the joys of Reed. Of course, she had the racist lady had to get her 2 cents in.
So the federal government has designated American parents who are unhappy with the education their children are receiving as domestic terrorists, and the media are defending it. This is so shameful, it's hard to describe. The entire point of a free press is to protect the weak from the strong.
Exactly.
But as usual, and more flagrantly every day, our media does exactly the opposite. They slobber over billionaires, they defend the powerful, they call you a bigot if you challenge George Soros.
Bingo.
And on the other hand, they clap like seals as working class people go to jail for thought crimes.
Exactly. All right. Play that little clip because Tucker, once again, goes savage, and he is absolutely 1,000% correct. But let's get to the meat and potatoes. Of course, A.G. Garland threatens parents. This also comes out of Gateway Pundit, who criticized racist critical theory. Son-in-law makes money, sells books. Exactly. Biden's corrupt Attorney General Merrick Garland announced he was going to target parents who were attacking CRT, mask mandates, things like vaxxers. Anyway, CRT promotes anti-white racism. Fact. It turns out AG's son-in-law making lots of money, cha-ching, selling books to teach about the racist theory. Last night, the conservative treehouse reported the connection between the AG and CRT teaching in schools. U.S. Attorney Merrick Garland recently instructed the FBI to begin investigating parents who confront school board administrators of critical racist theory indoctrination material. The U.S. Department of Justice issued a memorandum to the FBI instructing them to initiate investigations of any parent, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, attending local school board meetings who might be viewed as confrontational, intimidating, or harassing. Attorney General Merrick Garland's daughter is Rebecca Garland. In 2018, Rebecca Garland married Zan Tanner. Mr. Tanner is the current co-founder of a controversial education service company called Panarama Education. Panarama Education is, quote, social learning resource material provider to school districts and teachers that teach critical racist theory. Of course, Fox News reported on the connection between Garland and his son-in-law sales of CRT books this morning. Also, Zuckerberg's connection to Panarama. Attorney General Merrick Garland is facing fresh scrutiny for his ties to a company that promotes the type of content parents are opposing in their ongoing battle with local school boards, a hot-button issue that Garland has recently targeted for investigation at the national level. Merrick Garland has declared a war on parents. Asira Nomani of Parents Defending Education, PDE, tweeted Tuesday. His daughter is married to the co-founder of Panarama Ed, which is under fire for its multi-million-dollar contracts with school boards. Defending Ed. Parents sets up tips, raise alarm. Now Garland is trying to silence the parents. As she noted, the New York Times reported in 2018 that Garland's daughter Rebecca married Panarama co-founder Zantana. Panorama's ties to Facebook CEO Zuckerberg have also inspired skepticism at his company has come under fire for the way of use of data and impacts users' psychological health. My thoughts. Oh my. Of course, this wasn't a simple, these white supreme parents, black, Hispanic, Asian, yes, because they're all white supremes, have decided to open their mouths instead of sitting down and pay your taxes and shut up. Now we have a problem. So we need the former so-called Justice Department to step up and do its job. But we got to have this thing go on because Garland's son-in-law doesn't make money. Doesn't make the dough. Tied in with Zuckerberg, doesn't make the dough if you don't push the indoctrinational nonsense garbage being spewed by these knuckleheads. And then what I showed previously, when you have the left-wing media, as Tucker put it, clapping like seals in slamming parents who have concern. Who have concern being that their kids are not being taught properly. Who concerned that their kids are being taught trash and being indoctrinated with racist garbage. And yet parents are the threat. Illegals aren't the threat. Al-Qaeda's not the threat. The Taliban's not the threat. Black Lives Matter is not the threat. Antifa's not the threat. Parents are the threat. Now we need to use the full force of the federal government to go after parents who go after school board meeting members who address their concerns, and of course, schools getting butthurt and crying. You know, panties bunching, pearls clutching, you know, the whole woke nonsense. But the parents are the problem. But we got to make sure that the money still keeps on flowing into the family. You know, because it's all about justice. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Ogonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a thing. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.